Like I said, I don't know what the deal is. Every time before we go live, I just get so nervous. All right. Well, it says that we are live on the YouTube side. Now it says waiting for Travis P11. Let me go ahead and refresh my page here real quick and see if I am in fact live for everybody. If I'm live, I want to welcome everybody to Caliber Corner, episode number 119. Are we good right now? Can you guys see me? I don't know if we're still live. My video footage is frozen right now.
It was just live when I was just overlooking. I can look again.
Okay, I think we're okay. I think we're good to go. So we're running this one through the GunTube chamber this evening for everybody. Okay, so hi, good folks. Seven Wonders is giving us the thumbs up. We are going to go ahead and get started. I want to welcome everybody to Caliber Corner episode number 119, where this evening we're going to talk about the Virginia Rally. And then we're also going to just talk about accessorizing your AR-15s, your M4s, your AR pistols, SBRs, and all that fun stuff. We'll talk about some of the accessories that you can pick up. All right, Southpaw says, good to go, Travis. That's good to see. So let's go ahead and let the panel introduce themselves here real quick. Just a reminder, guys, tonight's episode is brought to you by SS Pawn in Lexington, Nebraska. SS Pawn is just right off the Interstate 80 exit, at the exit for Lexington, Nebraska. SS Pawn will take care of your firearms needs. Stop in there, say hello to Stan. They're just a block off the interstate. All right, so saying hello this evening, we've got a little Rich White. Rich, what's going on, man? How's it going?
Yeah, not too bad.
All right, what you been up to, man? What you been up to?
Looking at new cars.
Looking at new cars. So you got a deer problem, huh? You guys are being stalked by herds and herds of deer, I take it, huh?
They're suicidal.
Uh-huh.
They are absolutely suicidal.
You guys out east, man, between you and what Kingpin said, it sounds like it's definitely an epidemic, man.
Yeah, I think there's a deer suicide cult in this area.
They dare each other to see how close they can get to your vehicle, and then some of them just go too far, and then they just, So the big question is did the car win? Did the deer take its own life while running into the side of your vehicle?
No, there's actually not a whole lot of damage to the car, really, when you look at it for one this time.
I'm just saying, did you get any meat out of this whole ordeal? Any deer meat at all? No? No venison? Oh, okay. So why don't you talk a little bit about your channel and what one can expect if they stop over there and check it out?
Yeah, main channel is Unloaded Media. We do a live show every Sunday night. We didn't do one yesterday because of things, but that's usually between 8 and 9 Eastern Standard Time, or 8 like 9, depending on the time of year it is, anyway. But yeah, so check that out, and you never know what we're going to talk about. It is a gun channel, but we'll talk about politics, movies, TV shows, whatever comes up.
Do you guys talk about Pop-Tarts yet? Because Squib is the new he's in the pocket of Big Pop-Tart now, apparently. So
no, I don't think we've ever talked about Pop-Tarts.
A Pop-Tart discussion. It's fascinating. You go to Wikipedia and look up all the flavors that they used to make and the flavors they don't make anymore, and then once in a while they bring it back as retro flavors and stuff.
Oh, Rich, Pop-Tart bracket.
That's the kind of thing that families get divorced over right there.
Hey, have you tried the new Pop-Tarts, those pretzel Pop-Tarts?
No, I have not tried those.
There's a cinnamon and sugar one, and there's a chocolate one.
Ooh, I think I can handle that, man. I'm definitely down for some Pop-Tarts.
The crust has a pretzel flavor to it.
Oh, that could be interesting. That would actually be kind of tasty. I like those little tiny little nugget ones that they sell, those little bits that you can buy. Mm-hmm. I'm brown sugar, man. 100% all the way brown sugar. That brown sugar cinnamon is where it's at. That's my go-to. That's been my go-to. If you look at me, it's had positive effects on my body. Chocolate fudge is fantastic. So, hey, let's continue with the intros real quick. All right, so Rich, thanks for joining us. Kingpin's in the house. Kingpin, how you doing, brother?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic, Travis. Thanks for having me, brother. Always a pleasure.
All right, man. Appreciate having you here. And you got any content coming up on the channel anytime soon? You got anything you're working on, or what do you got?
Yeah, I went through a bit of a transition. I was tempted to get into some political stuff, and decided to just save that for the live stream experiences. Squib actually mentioned some of that in one of his last videos.
Yeah.
But January is almost over. 2020 is fresh, so there will be plenty of new gun reviews coming in 2020.
Right on, man. Heck yeah, new year, way to start all over again. Yeah, awesome.
My first gun review should be out by this weekend.
Very cool. Very cool. Can you give us any kind of teaser about it at all? Can you give us a country of origin for the firearm?
That I cannot because I'm not you guys, but I can just tell you it's going to be a Kimber Desert Warrior.
Oh, okay. Well, that works. So Kimber. What's a Kimber? No, I'm just messing with you, brother. That's awesome, man. All right.
Hashtag Kimbers for Kingpin, not Karen.
Ooh.
Yeah, I was going to say, Kingpin got his Kimber, but Karen didn't.
Sweet. All right, man.
So much for beating me to the chat, huh, Mystic Guns?
I'm not checking out what's going on in the chat. I should be watching that right now. We'll give a little shout out to people watching here in just a sec. So, all right, man. So Kingpin's in the house. Squibload, the king of the Pop-Tarts, the King Pop-Tart reviewer. What's up, brother?
Yeah, see, it's not all about coffee, is it?
No, not at all. Don't you see why I do lots of different food reviews? They're fun.
Oh,
They're
no,
fun to do, man.
To eat.
Well, yeah, that too. I mean, it's just
no, they are fun.
Yeah.
They are fun. And so I shot the review, like 5 days ago or something.
Yeah.
And I had in there where I didn't describe the frosting on the Pop-Tart. Just said, look at that, right? And then later I said, if you've ever had Fruit Loops without any cereal in the bowl, and I meant to say milk.
Oh,
so I just did the old caption thing, right? I even did it in white, like in bold print, milk, right? 48 font, white milk, right? Yeah. And then I thought about it, and I go, well, now Patriot can't read that.
Oh.
And I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah. Yep.
What do I care what Patriot thinks? Oh, man, I'm getting soft.
Mm-hmm.
So then I said, well, you know what I'll do? I'll go down to the store. I'll buy another box of Pop-Tarts. And I will shoot a add-on, and I just spliced it in there, and it was actually a lot of fun doing that. But it made the review even longer. But it was a lot of fun doing that, and it gave me a chance to shout out Rick's Life as I See It. For those of you who haven't checked it out, he does a show Wednesday nights at 7 and Saturdays at 3 p.m. That's Eastern time, the only time zone that matters. And it's a pretty good show. They're both about an hour long. And then Patriot in the Dark. Well, he really runs Rick's Life as I See It. Secretly, he's kind of in control, like the Travi Collective.
He's the mastermind, right? He's the mastermind.
Yeah. I mean, it's Patriot's show, but Rick hosts it.
He's the real King Rick, is what you're saying, right? Yep. He's the spotted Rick. Yep.
And Patriot in the Dark does a lot of videos, and in his videos, he's very descriptive because he's visually impaired. He's blind, and he will describe what is on the screen. So you get an idea of what it is like, maybe in order to communicate better. If you know somebody who's blind, you might not be thinking of, like I was saying in my video, look at that. Okay, look at what? Okay, what am I looking at, right? So I'm not saying everybody should make their videos that way, because it's something that I can tell you, even though I do a show with him once or twice a week, and I know him, it's something I just don't think of, and a lot of people don't think of. So for once, I decided I would go ahead and just throw it in, and it was a lot of fun doing it.
Good.
But he's got a donut video. And his blooper reel is better. So
the outtakes trying to make the donut review. Oh, damn it! Drop the whole donut in the coffee.
Oh, and did you notice that he has a thing against flavored coffee?
Really? Well, man, I don't know. I'm all about the dark, smoky, just original boldness of it. Once in a while I break down. I might put a little bit of creamer in there, just for something a little bit different. Maybe mix it up a little bit with some hazelnut. That's kind of how I get down when I get wild and crazy. But
I think maybe next time him and I meet up, I think I'll bring him some Arbuckle's Ariosa coffee. It's not flavored coffee. It's coffee flavored coffee. It's real coffee.
Ooh.
It's honest to goodness coffee.
So is it coffee or is it just coffee? It's coffee. Coffee squared? Okay, it's coffee.
Arbuckle's coffee out of Tucson, Arizona, and the only one I've tried so far is the Ariosa, and it is one of the best coffees I've ever had. I'm planning on trying out some of the other blends that they've got.
So you're really developing a palate for this stuff, then, is what you're telling me, huh?
Okay.
I told you. You're like, God, it just tastes like coffee. I remember your second review. Like, this son of a bitch, I know what he's talking about. It just tastes like coffee. And then 15, 20 coffee reviews, and you're like, I noticed the the crema on the back end, the effervescence of the mocha. And I'm telling you, man, you're gonna get just as bad as me.
I am face palming right now. Yeah, I am under the influence of the Trav I collect.
You're like the cocoa aftertastes and the notes of tobacco and fine quinoa. It's herbal. Yeah.
Let this be a warning to everybody out there. Okay, this man is not what he seems. He has an ability to convince you. Maybe it's because the force works on the weak-willed. I don't know.
No, it's the Travi. It's the Travi working on the weak-willed. So yeah, the Travi. Yeah.
Yeah, the Sith got nothing on the Travi.
Oh, yeah. Hey, we got somebody else joining in here real quick. So, hey, I want you to do a favor for me, Squibload. I want you to shake it up in the gun community. I want you to send out a series of challenges for Pop-Tart reviews to everybody you know. Just get it out there, and then we got to challenge you back with our favorite flavor Pop-Tart and why we think it's the best. And then we'll have a Pop-Tart bracket showdown. We'll have a Pop-Tart. I've never done a bracket. We haven't done a bracket on this channel in a long time.
That's something that you would be better at, or somebody with a slideshow. Or
you are gifted. Your review of the Fruit Loops Pop-Tart Pop-Tarts was amazing. I wanted to just leave school and go get them, but I couldn't because I had a classroom full of 30 children. All right, so I had to wait until the end of the day, and then I forgot to go to Walmart. So,
children are resilient. They would have been fine, but I would have brought back enough for each and every one of them. There. If I were you.
Where's he at? I don't know. He said he was going to the grocery store. No, I don't leave my kids unattended. But anywho, man, no. Let's just think about it. Think about it. Send out the Pop-Tart challenge for 2020. Let's just enjoy for a little bit, and have a few laughs.
Yeah, let's go ahead and make a VR. VR to the Squibload channel about what
you got to defend your flavor of Pop-Tart to the end and tell us why it is the best flavor out there. Why, if there was this apocalypse and you can only take one box of Pop-Tarts with you, you would take the box of Pop-Tarts.
What is your favorite in the apocalypse, and what would be your backup if that was unavailable?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I'd have to say maybe chocolate fudge brownies, pretty dang good too. So anyway, all right, man. So we'll put that one out there. Calaveras is with us. What's up, brother? How you doing, man?
Doing good. Can you guys hear me all right?
Loud and clear, man. You sound good. What's going on?
Well, not a whole lot. I actually got off work after only working 8 hours today, which is was a nice little blessing.
Sweet, man. You said I heard Travis roboting.
Last week my short day was a 10.5. My long day was about a 12.5. So it was a little rougher.
Dude, I thought I put in some long.
Which is really fun on salary.
Dude, you're a beast, man. Yeah.
Which it's really fun when you're on salary.
Yeah, Calaveras. Yeah. I'm going to need you to come in on Saturday, too. Yeah. Thanks.
I worked 10.5 hours Sunday last weekend. Sorry.
Yeah. 10.5. Oh, my gosh. Dude, that's insane, man. All right. So let's, real quick, hey, Calaveras, tell us real quick, what's on your channel, man? What can we find if we head over there? What's good? You've been doing some reviews lately? I saw a couple. Yeah. What's going on, man?
What's good? Probably nothing. What's there? I've got a few. I just.
All right.
I just posted I just released my last Tulsa interview. With the Vardy Custom. A firearms manufacturer as well as custom metalwork people. Fun interview. Other than that, I've got some product review. Been having a few small Amazon companies sending me some gear to do some review on. Over the weekend, I got to play around with some 3-blade broadheads for my bow. That was the first time I ever got to shoot some broadheads. So that was kind of fun. So I've got that coming up on the channel. That's going to be a little while yet. Other than that, want to try to get a little bit more, into the political stuff. After I've been doing a lot of that on my Instagram, not a whole lot on the YouTube, but I need to start doing some videos on that. Other than that, that's about all what you're going to find over there.
Cool, man. All right, well, you got a good variety over there, dudes. You guys make sure you check it out. Subscribe to everybody here on the panel. We got lots of great content for you. Lots of good stuff to check out.
Hey, real quick, before we go on,
Squid
brought up Patriot in the Dark and brought up a challenge. If you haven't checked it out, I think he's went and did a playlist of all the videos that were listed in his blind challenge that he put out. What was that, about a year ago? Over there and check out some of those videos if you want to laugh, have a good laugh at people trying to describe their firearm while blindfolded.
Dude, I was mentally exhausted after I got done doing that video. My brain was like, dude, that was so focused on my sense of touch that, like, I mean, it was trying to describe it and not screw it up and reassemble it. That was just a Glock.
I knew I was going to screw up, so I set out to do it as a comedy thing from the beginning.
Okay.
And that's where that was interesting for me, because that's where, of course, one of the ones I did was on my SIG pistol, which I had broken down probably 7 or 8 times by that point. But then I also did my shotgun, which that was only the second time I'd ever broken that gun down. So that was interesting.
Those can be a nightmare sometimes with all the moving mechanisms inside and your pump and rails and all that fun stuff. Oh God!
I was smart.
Yeah, it was a Benelli Supernova.
What'd you say? Wait, Rich, you a revolver?
Yes, I did.
I guess he said you couldn't. He said he didn't say you couldn't do a revolver. So if those of you who don't know what we're talking about, Patriot in the Dark issued a challenge for us to make a. Was it just a disassembly and reassembly video? Is that what you want to call it? Because I think I cleaned mine. Was it a cleaning video? I made mine into a cleaning video, and you had to do it blindfolded so that you could get the experience of somebody who's visually impaired handling their firearm. Disassembling it, reassembling it, and what the process goes through,
and describe all the parts and everything,
the textures and where you're holding it at, and how to take it apart, what to look for, and oh man, good God!
Yep,
He did it as a way to get the rest of us thinking about, rather than us like, well, you look at this here and put that there. 'Cause a lot of us, sighted, people or the what does he call us? That's where the I can't remember what his nickname is for us, but he's got some a funny nickname for us sighted folk. But that's where trying to get us away from terms like that, trying to get it to be more specific, saying, okay, on the right-hand side, you've got, a notch of this shape, next to a groove of this shape, so that way someone can really get a good idea what the heck it is we're supposed to be talking about.
Oh, some of these I couldn't imagine. I've disassembled some and reassembled some that are just can't even. It's hard to do with your eyes open,
Yeah, that's good.
I've accused myself of being a sight supremacist around him, so I don't know if that's yeah.
I tell you what,
the first person in the group to make a blind joke will be Patriot too, and you'll be there going, did he just say that?
Yeah.
He's really good at breaking the ice.
Yeah, the part that Squib liked about my video, like a week before I made my video, we were having a discussion on one of the live chats. I forget whose. Squib didn't realize that Smith & Wesson grips had the little medallion on them. So when I was doing my video, I used my 6.7. I pointed out how it had the medallion in the grip. Just get a little shot in there,
Oh man, that was cruel and heartless, brother.
Squib laughed about it.
All right.
Yeah, it didn't hurt my feelings because I don't have any feelings.
All right, so real quick, let's just go and give a little shout out to people that are watching over here on the YouTube side right now. We got a little New York Outcast watching, Midnight Range TM, 2 live moves in the house. Lots of comments flowing out there already. Unknown users watching us right now. 7 Wonders, Budget Guns and Gears out there. Budget, if I'm not sending you invites, I need to start doing that, man. Second Amendment wasn't a suggestion is out there. Said I didn't get a notification. Interesting. 2 live moves, Scott P79, Snake Doctor 78's in the house. Southpaw RX is out there also. Vanessa Kitty's watching. Ecoda's watching us this evening. Tacos and French fries. Billy, the cab driver's out there also. Man, lots of people tonight. Zinger's out there. Mystic Guns. Hootie Hoo in the house. Hello, Hootie Hoo. Drucifer's watching right now. Drew Shaw's out there watching. And, man, lots of people. Lockjaw's out there. Yoder, Texas is watching too. Georgia Trucker 69. Rich White's out there and over here. Joe Ziola's out there. Keywor's watching. Weston Probst is out there too. Travis Misty is out there. Travis Misty, is that Travi number 5 now? So Travis, you're automatically in the Travi collective. If your name is Travis, you don't have a choice. So let's see here. Quick. All right, so I'm going to kind of just start fresh with the comments. If you guys have any comments or questions that you want to get out there, what do we have here? So Patrick says, is this live stream a test for YouTube with your high-speed projectile throwing device over your right shoulder in frame? Well, this AR over here? Yeah, I would say so. No, I've had this in my video. As long as I'm not handling it, it's not going to be any kind of violation, so we don't have to worry about that. But we are going to be showing off some AR-15 accessories a little bit later on. So let's just go ahead and talk about it, guys. I was shocked at how peaceful everybody was at the Virginia rally today, and how much life was not lost, and how many people were not killed, and how much death and destruction did not happen. Could it be because 99.99% of all gun owners are rational human beings? Feel free to chime in, guys. What do you think? Virginia rally, thoughts, feelings?
Would Squib be that remainder percentage?
Nah, Squib will be fine. I've been to rallies with, at least one rally with Squib.
He's stable most of the time, so yeah.
He couldn't stand still.
I haven't caused any trouble yet.
So
that's where I was hoping for a good reaction out of him, guys.
you gotta work harder than that.
Oh, there you go. You gotta poke the bear. You gotta prod the bear.
I will say Squib was like a little kid with ants in his pants. I mean, he couldn't stand still for 5 minutes, but other than that.
Because he's all jacked up on caffeine. That's my fault. He's sitting there trying to get his next coffee review done, and then he's like, all right, let's get going. But no, seriously, about the rally, I thought it was interesting. I'll show you guys some photos here pretty soon that I got from Black Hat Outdoors that also came from Justin Hemme, if I'm not mistaken. The news, it was interesting perspective on the news. It seemed like they saved the Pro 2A people for the very end of the broadcast. Every time they were talking about the Virginia rally, they were talking about the possible threats and how the white supremacists were arrested with their machine gun or submachine gun with 1,000 rounds of ammunition by the FBI, which was probably a good thing, I suppose. I mean, I don't know all the story behind it. I guess it's not a bad thing if you stop somebody that's going to do some harm. Okay, that's what their job is all about. But again, on the news, it's like they just kept talking about it. Oh, they don't want anybody to set something off, and there's going to be security, and they kept showing all these pictures of all these militias and all these supremacist groups and all this chitter chatter going on and stuff. And again, people did what they wanted to do. They wanted to go and they wanted to speak their mind, and they did so. And the funny part is, on the other side of that fence line off the Capitol grounds, we had thousands and thousands of people that are there. I don't know. What have you guys heard about numbers? How many people were actually there? Have you guys heard any numbers at all? I heard 22,000, maybe. Does that sound fair to you guys?
That's for 22 is the only number I've heard today.
All right. So I'm just kind of showing off some photos. So if you can see this was kind of shot at a crazy angle, but we got the Capitol grounds right here, and this was the fenced-off area, kind of thin. And then this area where people were allowed to carry, open or concealed down on the bottom, was just wall-to-wall people. So you can see how there were going to some people that just were not going to comply with this process of disarming themselves just to get up on the Capitol grounds. These are some really good pics, by the way. The next one that we have, this is just one of the views from the street.
Heck, that's where, of course, they had how many, people walking around their arm. There was that one guy walking around with the Barrett.
I'll show that photo off. That's everybody's favorite hero, so that's, yeah.
Yeah, that's just for curiosity. I looked up, that is a 28.5-pound rifle that dude was carrying around that whole time.
Bro, stacked, man. I'm telling you, he's swole. The guy's like rocking it, man. He didn't even flinch, man. I'll tell you what, if they would have needed fire support that day, that's the guy that you want on your team right there. So you know what? Let's just go to that pic right now. This is what everybody says is their hero of the day. This guy right here. I want to shake this guy's hand, man. Look at this guy. Look at that. That is how you go to town. I hope that's not airsoft. I hope that's real. That looks like a 9.4 scope on there.
That is probably the best reason to break the credit card and just buy one of these damn things. Not to have one, not because I like long distance shooting or because I want to be able to drop a grizzly bear or anything else. It's to take one to a rally.
Of course, man. Heck yeah. He's got the medic patch on his helmet. This guy right here, man, this dude is awesome. He's got a full pack on going on. He's got his sidearm. Man, that's just awesome. I don't know oh, that's a camera down there. So yeah, that right there is the hero of the day for everybody. My new hero in Richmond, rocking a Barrett, #ready. There you go. But I mean,
from what I was hearing, that's where, of course, they had those guys, they had the AR guys, the handgun guys. But I guess there was, I was reading a thing that's where I guess there was people on the periphery, of the group with, binoculars, spotting all of the, figured out where all the, the snipers, police snipers, or at least observers. Hard to say if they were snipers or not. They also
a couple up there, maybe up in the top
they were watching for. Yeah, they were watching for not just where the law enforcement was, but also keeping an eye over the entire crowd to look for anyone causing trouble. So it's nice that more or less this group, that peaceful group, but they essentially were providing their own security as well.
So the question I have for you guys is, I wonder if there was any discussion. What was the chatter between the people up on the hill and the people on the other side of the fence? I mean, was there any animosity between these two or not? I mean, were these people the ones up here that wanted to make speeches at a podium? Is that what the advantage was to going into the fenced-off, disarmed area, or what?
Well, this was they've shown on the Pennsylvania Rally Day where they go in and they talk to the politicians and everything. That's basically what this was for Virginia, and they turned it into a big gun rally on top of that because of what's going on in Virginia. So if you wanted to go in and you wanted to talk to any of the politicians and stuff, you had to go inside the fence.
I mean, I hope they're letting these people know that they're not going to get reelected if they don't go pro 2A, if they don't support the right to bear arms. I mean, that's just the fact right there. I mean, this right here is, and this is just the people that, this is the people that could make it. Imagine the people that couldn't make it,
They all got elected on an anti-gun platform in the first place. So
that's the scary part, man. This right here, man, look at that. We got the Grayson County. This is Grayson County Sheriff's Department. We support the Second Amendment.
There were a few different sheriffs that I saw being interviewed on various channels on YouTube, and they all said the same thing. We're not going to comply because it's an unconstitutional law.
Yeah.
It's unconstitutional by our state constitution and the federal constitution. We're not going to abide by it.
Oh, yeah.
They all basically, all the ones that they interviewed said the same thing.
I mean, this is great. This is definitely gaining some momentum. This is what we want to see. Once it gets real. We've got a proposal for a bill in Nebraska that's one of those similar. I don't remember what all the specifics are. It might be limited to 10 rounds and no semi-automatics, and I don't remember what it was. They're proposing something ugly in ours also, but I can't see it passing. But you obviously don't want it to pass. But no, man, I mean, these numbers are definitely pretty. I like this one right here. Somebody brought a guillotine with them. Did you see that? Is that real?
I don't think it's functional from what I.
Okay, I was gonna say, is that safe? This little dude's got his hands on it right there, man. That's your trigger finger, bro. That's your trigger finger. What's that?
But talking about you don't think it will pass, unfortunately, that's the type of mindset that a lot of people there in Virginia thought before the election. So that's where complacency is the enemy, our enemy at the moment. That's where Californians have been warning these other states for years now. If you don't stand up for yourself, you are going to get what we have. So you need to pay attention. And we've been getting blown off and told to move for how long? Now, I think maybe finally Virginia made the point for us.
Yeah, I want to jump in and chime in on that as well, because the last legislative session, Maryland voted down the universal background check, the 3D printed gun, the ghost gun, all that kind of nonsense. But it's back in legislation now. So instead of pointing at me and Calaveras and calling us commies and telling us we should move and all the other bull that everybody always tells us, how about help us now?
Yeah.
Now is the perfect time for you guys to help us, because Maryland, I tell you right now, Maryland is in desperate need of help right now. Does
Maryland have some good supportive organizations that we can support financially, that we can join? Because there's a lot of people that join the Virginia Citizens League also, I know.
Yeah, now Maryland is different than Virginia. Virginia didn't vote. The problem with Maryland is they vote, but they all vote for Democrats. Maryland is actually full of Democrats. That's why we lose all our elections. That's why it's different in Virginia. Virginia sat back and it'll never happen here until it happened there.
Yeah.
Maryland is, we want it to happen here. That's why it's happening here. So I implore everybody out there, I beg you, please help Maryland.
Okay, but there's a problem with that, though. There's a problem with that. We can't vote in Maryland. All we can do is join a gun rights organization or donate money to a gun rights organization in that state, or we can show up to a rally if we come in from out of state. That's really about it.
No, but there's another thing that you can do that's just as effective as well, and I agree with Squib. That is very important. Help the gun rights organizations in these communist states, and when you know of a sheriff or a town councilman or whatever that's standing up, shoot them an email and just say, hey, I live in Kentucky, but I heard what's going on in Maryland, and we're supporting you over here in Kentucky. Because when people go out, like Virginia had it different. The sheriff came out and said, I'm not going to follow any of these laws. And everybody jumped on his side and was like, yeah, that's awesome. When the sheriffs in Maryland come out and say, we're not doing that, they say, well, you're gone next time. We're coming after you. But if you send them just a quick email and just say, hey, I live in Montana and we're supporting what you do there, you're not alone, that makes a huge, huge difference.
Showing that the world is watching and not just their county, not just their township and whatnot.
Exactly. And that's where California, of course, Maryland, sorry, I'll let you guys jump back. So you asked, like, different organizations. Like California, we've got Gunners of California, which is actually, as my understanding, is the parent organization that kind of helped spawn Gunners of America. From what I've been told, it started here, and then when it left the state, they went and they changed the name to a different organization. And then we have California Rifle and Pistol, which is essentially our local affiliate to the NRA. But that's where I personally have, reached out to 7 different county sheriffs and councils to try to push the, asking them about the two-way sanctuary, just trying to, even I don't expect it to happen per se, but trying to start pushing these people, trying to get it out, make sure it's known to them that there are those of us here that want to keep our freedom. So, at least they know that if they go that way, they have support, and if they go against us, they know they have someone to fight against, which
for those
of you that live in other states could do that stuff as well.
For those of you who live in the communist states and the states that have been communist for a while, not the ones that are about to turn communist like Virginia, from the outsider looking in, nobody understands why you don't move other than the weather's really nice or you've got a really good job. Or maybe there's a couple other reasons, but whatever. But people in other states are pissed off at your state. And of course, you live in your state, so you're the face of your state. You might not have been the one to do it. You might not have even been alive when these things were voted into law. Mm-hmm. But they're pissed off at your state because versions of your state law that got passed are coming to their state only because they worked in your state, and more states are getting these bad laws. You don't ever hear anybody go, yay for this state because they got constitutional carry, or yay. All you hear is, they're copying this law from California or Maryland or New Jersey or Florida or Illinois or whatever. And it's difficult when you live in a free state and you want to try to keep your state free to hear someone from a communist state go, you got to help us. And you're there going, yeah, but because of you guys, now we got to deal with this. Mm-hmm. And I understand what you're saying about some of the things that you can do, but overall, it really is up to the voting population of that state. If most of the people in the state don't want guns, you're not going to have guns. That's just the way it is. I hear all the time, there are so many people in California that are pro-Second Amendment, but they don't vote. Okay, why not? Why not? I don't believe there's really that many pro-Second Amendment people in California. I just don't.
I've got a simple fix for all the people in Virginia. Those 20,000 people should all just move. Wait a minute. Where is everybody? Why did everybody get all silent when I said everybody in Virginia should? It's fine.
I was just about to.
Well, I've never heard you say that before.
I was just about
you might be right.
Moving is not hard to do. I've done it my whole life.
Maybe they should move, because I read of at least one Democratic lawmaker in Virginia who said today that all that they saw, that all those people showing up didn't matter. They're going to pass what laws they want to anyway.
Well, and you're going to have that. That's what I was going to say. That's why I was getting ready to chime in. After you made that comment, it didn't kill the chat. I promise you, Kingpin.
Yeah,
no, I mean, that's, we need to let the comment resonate, because that is the impact. That's the alternative, right? No, it's not, man. They need to stay and fight, because that's how we lose, and then the domino effect kicks in, and then the next state goes, and the next state goes, and then Virginia splits where counties run off, and
No, people in Virginia don't.
I have seen.
See, here's the thing.
I have seen quite a few people hold up once.
In the West Virginia legislature right now, for them just to move their counties to West Virginia, the whole state moved.
Yeah, that's where, and as for, like people move, that's where unfortunately I have seen all too many, I'm sure those of you who live in other states have seen it as well, but that's where, look at how purple Texas has become, and a lot of that is the policies here have killed so many jobs. People have moved to Texas, unfortunately, that, the stupidity has followed them. They don't seem to get that their voting policies for the last 30 years or why they have the policies that are chasing their jobs away now. So people just moving isn't necessarily going to help, anything. It's just going to spread the cancer.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Hey, real quick, let's let Budget go ahead and introduce himself. I know he's been here for a little while. So, Budget Guns of Gear, do I send you invites every week or not? I don't know. Are you on I sent out 25 of them. I just click next. What's that?
Squib actually forwarded this to me. So,
okay. Well, I'm going to put you on the list in the future. So, no, welcome to the show, man. Hey, chat away, man. You want to give us a little shout out about your channel real quick and then chime in about the discussion that we're having right now?
For those of you who don't know who I am, I'm Mike with Budget Guns and Gear Reviews. You can find me here on YouTube at Budget Guns and Gear Reviews. www.budgetgunsandgear.com is my website. GunTube, Gunstreamer, Instagram, Facebook, all over the damn place. I review value priced and high, not necessarily value priced, but high value for the dollar for what you're paying. Guns, shooting, hunting, outdoor equipment, camping stuff, do a little bit of bushcraft stuff. I host a live stream every Friday night at 11:30 p.m. Eastern called The Right of the People, where we talk about stuff like this.
There you go, man.
I like to say we use the first to defend the second.
He also answers to Mr. Technical Difficulties.
Yes.
All right, man. Real quick, let's let E Honda introduce himself. Honda's joining in the discussion. E Honda, what's going on, man? Welcome to Caliber Corner, brother.
Hey, man, how's it going? Thanks for the invite. You always invite me, and I always feel bad because I'm always busy at this time of day, and I'm like, dang it, I can't make. And then I'm like, immediately after that, I'm on Matt's chat. So
you're probably coming home from work about the time that I'm going live. I mean, this is a tough one for people to make it to because it's 5 o'clock, it's dinner time, it's picking up the kids from whatever, I mean, it's just a busy time for everybody. So, real quick, you want to give us a little plug for your channel, what you have to offer, what people can find if they head over to your channel?
Well, sure, man. If you guys don't know, I run a little chat called the Gay Frog Chat where we talk about conspiracies and different crazy stuff going on and this and that every Sunday at 9 p.m. East Coast Standard Time on my channel. And if you guys want to check it out, please do. Thanks for the invite.
No problem, man. Welcome. Like I said, we're just talking about the Virginia rally right now and how it didn't turn into the what do you want to call it? The chaos and bloodbath that the news kept just waiting on edge for it to turn into. And it was funny that the other side of the fence where people were armed and carrying had zero problems because, like I said, those of us that are legal gun owners are rational individuals. We don't want to start the problems. We want to stop the problems if they come our way, right? But Budget, back to you. What's kind of your take on the Virginia rally since you just joined us here? And then Honda, you feel free to join in. What do you guys think about what you've seen so far, the photos you've seen, the numbers you've been looking at? What do you guys think?
I think it is a magnificent example of a populace starting to become awake after they were asleep for too long.
This is the new woke. This is the two-way woke is what it is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They slept through their elections. Voter turnout in Virginia for this past election was horrific. It was low. It was abysmal. And now they're reaping the results of that, the consequences. I believe it was Barack Obama who said that elections have consequences, and he was absolutely right. They're seeing that. So now they're awake to it, and they're trying, they're fighting like the third monkey trying to get on the ark. And is it too late? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's too late or not. As I said earlier, I read an article where at least one legislator said, we're going to do what we want to do anyway. So whether or not it bears any fruit immediately remains to be seen. Unfortunately, once all these laws get passed, they're a whole lot harder to get repealed than they are to keep from passing.
Oh yeah, so we don't ever get back once we give.
Fight goes.
Yeah. No, I agree, dude. I agree completely. I mean, it was refreshing to see that it wasn't just 500 or 600 people that showed up for this one. That it was real deal, legit. You know, showing up on a Monday morning of all things, right? These. I mean, if it had been a weekend rally, I think the numbers might have been a little bit higher. And I understand you can't put your work before things, but it's not everybody can make it. All right, everybody should try to, but not everybody can make it. Not to make excuses, but being on a Monday morning, man, I mean, that's a heck of a turnout if you ask me. It's a good beginning, is what I got to say.
Has there been any images coming out from other states? Because I know there was, last count I saw, I think was 7 other states that were doing, solidarity rallies for those who couldn't make it to Virginia.
No, I didn't hear about that. That's a new one for me, man. No, I didn't realize there was other ones going on at this point. No.
Oklahoma's putting forth a anti-red flag type of bill to where they're going to make it pretty much illegal to even bring up any type of red flag law. I didn't read it all. I just got a quick summary, but Oklahoma's taken another step in the right direction.
Good.
Seems like we all need to move to Oklahoma.
I'm telling you, the rational part of the country, it's the middle part of the country. I'm just
Snob does have a lot of property.
North and South Dakota has tons of space for us to do our long-distance shooting. Nebraska is moderate in the middle. Kansas is the land of magic. Oklahoma's great. Yeah. Texas
I think I'd rather lose my guns and move to Oklahoma.
Oh, dude, it's not that bad. Come on, man. It's hotter than Hades in the summertime, but still, you know.
Mm-hmm. But see, here's the thing, though. I am glad that I was wrong about the turnout. I am glad that there were that many people there. I am glad that there weren't people trying to charge the fence or cut the wire or whatever it was. And I knew there wasn't going to be any violence because I've gone to a bunch of these. That sort of stuff just doesn't happen. I think it's great that we had armed people across the street where they were lawfully allowed to be, because that is one of the reasons why there isn't violence at these rallies. Now, sometimes there are rallies in places where you can't carry guns. Even then, there's no violence. But when you have a bunch of people who are exercising their constitutional right or their state constitutional right, whatever state law, to carry, and it's seen and it's well known, the other side doesn't want to mess with them. And even within their own, if you've even got some people that are in, that are pro 2A, but maybe they're a little bit on the fringe or something, they're going, if I start something, 50 guys are going to mow me down. 50 of my own people are going to mow me down. So I'm going to, and it does keep it in check. That's a whole armed society is a polite society. That's why I think we should police ourselves both, out in public and on the internet. But I am glad that I was wrong about the turnout. Now, I hope that most of those people were from Virginia and not from other states. Not because I don't think other states should support Virginia. If you were able to go and you went, great. I think that's a great thing. I think it's great that you show solidarity, because it is one of the few ways that you can actually make a difference in Virginia, because you can't vote there. But if I found out that most of the crowd wasn't from Virginia, I'd say then all is lost, because they didn't learn their lesson. And without knowing how, what percentage were actually Virginia citizens, it's really tough for me to say anything one way or the other. But if they learned their lesson by not showing up to the polls and they showed up today, maybe it doesn't necessarily change anything with regard to the way these elected officials think, but it's going to change a lot of things. And public perception. Once again, all these people that were going on YouTube that were practically begging for violence, they weren't going to be there and start it. They're not going to be the ones leading the fight. They wanted more to talk about on YouTube. They wanted to build their analytics. They wanted to have something to talk about for the next 6 months or year about this, and to just amp it up and make it worse. They were just as bad as the fake news is about lying about us and about what we do and who we are and how we think and everything else. And I think this is a good lesson, as if they didn't learn enough from when that drunk guy was in his attic live on YouTube and everybody was saying, get your guns and go down and protect them, and it was all BS.
Oh, yeah.
Learn your lesson. I understand you want to build your channel if you're a small channel. And if you're a big channel, you want to be first and everything else. But what were you thinking? You really wanted this to be the boogaloo? You really wanted to ruin it for everybody? We proved that we are not the violent nut jobs that everybody thinks we are. And when people in our own community are calling for us to be violent nut jobs for their own gains and not because they're thinking of the community first, what does that say? There's a lot of lessons to be learned from today. And the fact that we are not, you hear me, I talk loud, and people think I'm always angry, and I'm not. I just talk loud. Okay, and yeah, the caffeine doesn't help either. But there are plenty of other people that they get upset, they turn on their camera. One guy today started off the morning blasting the rally. I think mostly because he wasn't there. And I've seen people do that too. Well, I'm not there, so therefore it's not important. And then later in the day, he was backpedaling all of this stuff. And he's a good guy, don't get me wrong. But he made 2 videos today, one before the rally and one after the rally, and they were in polar opposites. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if any other channels are going to be doing that. If they're going to be backpedaling and all this stuff. They're trying to do damage control like the media does. We are better than that. Don't worry about your damn analytics. Do what's right for the community. Do not encourage this sort of thing.
It'll be interesting to see how the mainstream media covers this tomorrow. If they're just going to talk about the potential for violence that could have happened, or if they're going to actually interview people or show interviews in the rally with people saying, oh, so, you know, or interview people maybe that were there, what they saw and how they felt. No, that ain't going to happen. Of course not. That would support their agenda.
They're still calling it a white supremacist rally.
They absolutely hate the fact that the rally went off without a hitch. They hate that many people showed up. They hate that they hyped that it was going to be something and then it didn't end up being anything. And then they hate that all those people were unified together against them in something they wanted to do. So what are they going to do tomorrow? They're not going to talk about it. You're going to turn on CNN and you're not going to hear one word about it. If anything had happened, you'd hear all about it from that angle. But since nothing happened, it's just down the memory hole, dude. They don't care. They know that the average American has the memory capacity of a goldfish. That's that's where we're at. So
to Squib's point, I saw 2 video clips today that go right to his point. One was there was a guy asking people, "Are you going to climb that fence and go take out the governor?" Blah blah blah, and the crowd shouted him down real quick and shut him up before something happened or it was arrested or what have you. And then the second one, it was a news reporter. I forget. I think it was a local channel or something that was saying about how got all these white nationalists and everything. And he's pointing all these white guys over on it to his left, right? The cameraman pans to the right. There were 3 or 4 black guys standing there with pro gun signs.
Epic fail. Missouri Phantom says it's a peaceful rally, like nobody's really causing problems. It's pretty awesome. People are enjoying those photos we were showing off. So shout out to Jess and Hemi for those photos, and shout out to Black Hat Outdoors for getting those to me. Lacha, here's Lacha. The second it ended peacefully, the media went silent. I know.
Let this be an example for somebody who still hasn't gone to a rally. Somebody who is, on the fence. They're afraid. They don't want to go because they can't bring their gun. Whatever it is, whatever excuse you've had. Now, there's explanations, and then there's excuses. And I've heard both. I've heard people give reasonable explanations. I was sick. I couldn't get out of work. I didn't have enough money. Whatever. I did a video on this, right? And then there's people with just the excuses. I've heard some really lousy ones too. And they're usually from people who have never gone to one, ever. Sometimes the rallies are for us. They're not for the politicians. They're not for the news. They're for us. They're to remind us that we're not alone. And you can network out and meet new people and, show your support. And it's just kind of a big community thing. And then there's other times where it is to show the politicians, hey, here we are. We're armed. We're not doing anything. And we're not going away. Yeah. And it is for the cameras. And it is. So not all rallies are meant to be on a day where the politicians are in session and they're looking down from the second floor window at you. And things, and I think somebody who's never gone to a rally is a little bit ignorant of that. I'm not saying they're a bad person. I'm saying give it a try. Do it for yourself. It's not any. What the biggest issue is? Parking. It really is. Finding a parking structure, paying for parking, and getting back to. Otherwise, if you've never gone and you're afraid, think, okay, get with some other gun people. Contact one of us. We're all out there.
The feeling I got when I went to my first rally, the feeling I went to when I went to my first rally was, I'm not alone. I'm not the only person you run into other people from your state. You can network with these people. There's a feeling of camaraderie and support when you are around your brethren that are pro 2A. We're all friends here on YouTube. We're all connected via the internet. We're all on our podcast and so on. But when you're with these people in person, there's a bond that you feel with these other individuals. Like, this is somebody that understands me. This is somebody that's with me, that supports me on this. That's the feeling you get when you go to one of these rallies. Everybody, you need to take one in. You need to experience I don't know how to explain it. There's kind of a unity there that you just don't get when we live our daily lives all wrapped up in our own personal issues, So the inspiration you get from it is mind blowing, man. especially the first time you go to your first rally.
Has anyone looked up what the price of a flight to Virginia was before the rally versus like? I tried to get a flight like just to see what it was, you know, like if it was like $100, I would have just like flown there and done it. Because I like happened to have today off, you know, like I could have done it if like it was cheap. And it was like $1,100 was the cheapest flight.
Day of, you got to book your flights weeks in advance or months in advance if you want to get the good prices. I mean, that's my experience for any travel anywhere. I think,
but if I want to fly to like California or Vegas, it's $100.
Like flying from Omaha to Orlando is like $500 round trip. So I'm just saying that's probably what it should have been more like, from center of the country where you and I were flying out of Denver to Orlando, $450, $500. Just saying if you're going to Florida, the East Coast or whatnot. I would say,
Any Honda flying from Colorado to Vegas might be $100 round trip, but from Detroit to Vegas, it's $750 round trip. It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
here's the thing. There's going to.
I look like people for coming to Vegas, I think.
Well, no, what I was going to say is there's going to be some people out there, I'm sure, that make a video that go, well, so-and-so went to SHOT Show and they didn't go to the rally. They planned SHOT Show. They booked their tickets in a room 6 months ago. They had no idea there was going to be a rally. Do not say, oh, well, they care more about making money. I'll be the first one to call somebody out for caring about money more than the cause, okay? But no, the people that were at SHOT Show already had this booked and planned, and they couldn't get away from it. And I wouldn't even recommend them. They're going to throw their money away. They're going to throw away some opportunities and stuff. There were plenty of people there that weren't going to go to SHOT Show anyhow. But I wouldn't be surprised if there'll be some videos where somebody's calling this channel out or that channel out, and they're not being objective. If you want to call somebody out, I'm all for it. Even call me out, okay? Please do. But be objective when you do it. Have something to back up your opinion or have some real facts. And the people that are at SHOT Show right now made commitments to this long before the election was even held in Virginia. So, before you run your mouth, think about what you say.
Just seeing some comments here. Guy in the comments is saying months in advance, $150 to $300 to go from LA to Virginia. I'm assuming that's LAX, not Louisiana. So that's $150 to $300 if we would have booked early to go. Yeah.
Anytime you fly to a tourist destination, you can get a red eye or a cheap flight because they want people in there for a day and out. But if you're going to fly out to like Branson, Missouri, and you want to leave today, wherever you leave from, you're going to pay a hefty price because booking a flight, the day before or the day of is going to be expensive.
Yeah.
That's right. I don't know where these $150 flights are. Of course, I was looking out of the Sacramento airport. I was looking East Coast, not that long ago, just for kicks, pre-rally announcement, pre-anything. And I was looking at solid 4 figures for a round trip.
Oh my God. That is insane. Unless those flights had already sold out and you were just getting what's left and the demand automatically went up on those flights. Because I think if you were what you should do is right now, just go to like Priceline or something and book a flight 2 weeks from today to Richmond and just see what it says. I'm just kind of curious to see. I don't know. It can fluctuate depending on the time of the year and the holidays and seasons and stuff like that. So, seriously, if anybody watching this podcast, if you've never been to a two-way rally before, you definitely need to go to one. You will be safe. You will have a chance to meet with like-minded people. You will get to hear some inspirational stories and speeches. It's definitely worth going. It's what really got me into just our little gun community in general, I have to say, AWAG is joining us. Okay. AWAG, real quick. Yeah.
Can I get a real quick, just name an airport, somewhere in that area that I can look it up. I'm looking right now just for kicks.
The closest airport to Richmond would be Dulles or Reagan.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say too. Either Dulles or Reagan.
Hey, AWAG's joining us. Let's let AWAG get his little plug. And AWAG, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Not much. Just been doing a lot of work lately and
cool.
Picking up new rifles, doing more research, doing more development. A little bit of both. Working hard, hardly working sometimes.
Nice. Well, hey, welcome to the podcast, man. It's been a little while, but I know you've been a busy man. What's your take on all this? Because you're an East Coast guy. What do you think, man? Is good turnout for the rally today with the photos you've seen and what people have been talking about? Yeah,
absolutely. I've been trying to follow this for as long as possible, and it kind of hits its close to home because not only is it on the East Coast, but it's one of those things where you get a politician that's definitely overstepping his bounds, and there's tens of thousands of people that show up to essentially put him in his place. You know, and I know a couple people that they're chomping at the bit to get the boogaloo started, and I'm like, please don't, because what happens is if something drastic happens, all of your first world commodities, your electricity, your heat will eventually be shut off, and for who knows for how long, and there'll be a massive loss of life, either directly or indirectly. And it's just going to be a big mess. Do you really want that? Can you look yourself in the mirror and say, hey, I wanted this to happen. I essentially wanted the United States to crumble and fall apart.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you look at people, look at what happens in your area. If you have a power outage for 24 hours, 48 hours, people start getting kind of edgy after 2 days. Fridge has been off for a couple days, don't have any extra supplies I can eat, no running water. That kind of brings out the interesting side of people. So I don't think we want to kind of fall down into that area. So definitely promoting the next civil war. I mean, I think it's pretty irresponsible. There's nothing wrong with saying, hey, have some preparedness, have some basic supplies, have your firearms. But to sit there and say, well, be ready because there's groups on edge. I mean, that's what the major media was reporting, there's threats, there's chatter going on, and there's. Go ahead.
Let's look at what happened with Waco, Texas, man. Like everything that happened there, like people in there weren't doing things that everyone would agree with, but no one was like evil or deserved to be burned alive. But the media demonized those people to the public to the point when that place went up in flames, everybody was happy that it was over.
Yeah, they were cheering. They were talking to Waco's first cookout and stuff. I remember that. I was in high school. I mean, there was.
Yeah. The guy having sex with the underage girls wasn't bad. They're going to do
to anybody who stands up against the government publicly and has a voice and whatever. They're going to demonize that person, that group, that whoever, and make them just like David Koresh or whoever you want to put in that box. You know what I mean? So you can't underestimate the power of public perception and the media and the power of propaganda.
Yeah,
having sex with underage girls wasn't a bad thing.
David
Koresh definitely didn't deserve to have a tank run through his building, but he was not a nice man.
Okay.
And tear gas is not flammable. They set themselves on fire.
Plus all the other people who weren't David Koresh who died,
Well, no, I agree. I totally agree. The way they handled it was absolutely wrong. But let's make sure that we don't make an angel out of David Koresh.
Okay. Well, I'm going to say this. I mean, hats off to everybody that went to that rally, man, because we definitely proved. I mean, we knew that we would do the right thing as gun owners, but I mean, the fact that the mainstream media, and like you said, they'll move on to the next topic tomorrow. They've been hyping it up for a week now, and it was not what they expected. But I mean, hats off to Virginians for keeping a cool head. I mean, I didn't hear about anything that happened that was, something happened with a backpack that got left behind, and somebody probably left it down on the ground and went and got a coffee, and the people were freaking out. I know they had a little area that they had to evacuate and whatnot, but I mean, other than that, I didn't hear about any other drama at this rally that was negative.
Welcome to 2020.
And when the media leaves it behind, hopefully we can leave it behind. I'm not saying don't be vigilant. I'm not saying don't stay on these guys. I'm not saying don't support. If you have a way to support, I'm not saying let's not talk about it ever again.
Yeah.
But we have saturated our channels with so much of this stuff. Some channels are just trying to get the information out there that people are looking for. Some channels are trying to do what they can to help in a state where maybe they can't do too much to help. And then other channels are just looking to hype this up. So I'm kind of hoping this kind of lulls down in our community too, but I don't want us to get complacent either. There's a way to do both. There's a way to be active. There's a way to be aware. There's a way to keep yourself from getting complacent. And then there's a way to just turn it into the tabloids.
Yeah, that's not what we want. That's not what we're about. So big question I have is, where can Virginia take it from here? What can Virginia do? What can a state do where aren't their laws going to be going up for vote really soon? These proposals, not laws, but their proposals for regulations and so on. I mean, where do they take it from here? What do they do? I mean,
they can email their elected representatives. They give their full name, their address, and the names of every person of voting age that lives at that address, and say, you have lost these you've lost 1 vote, 2 votes, 3 votes, 4 votes, whatever it is from this, and we live in your district. If you vote for this, next time around, we will not elect you. We will tell our friends. We will tell our family. We will put it on social media. We will do whatever it takes to get as many people to see what you have done, and we will not reelect you. Or you start sending them letters saying, I am not the person that you say that I am. I'm not a criminal. I'm not this. I'm not that. I'm not this. You were elected to uphold the Constitution. This goes against it. Read Section 1, Article 13 of the Virginia State Constitution. You can send emails as much as I've had very little result with that. I'm not saying it's not a bad idea. If you don't do anything else, there's some people that say, go ahead and meet with them, call them, meet with them. I have only been able to meet with them at rallies. That's another good thing about rallies. Sometimes you can actually talk to these guys, right, face to face. But if there's a way that you can schedule time to meet with them, try to meet with them. Try to get a group of people together and send a letter and have everybody sign it. You've got to put your address and everything on there. Like, oh no, they'll know who I am. They already know who you are. But if they see that you're a real person really living in Virginia, you ain't got to put down your social security number and your favorite color. But if you let them know, hey, we're here and we're not happy. And yeah, we didn't show up to vote last time, but we will be there next time. Do you really want, you've got to do something. And don't make threats. Be firm. Be firm, be straight, and don't make it an 11-page letter either.
I think just seeing these numbers here, just to your average gun owner, maybe that isn't overly, pro Second Amendment and being overly vocal and so on. Just your average gun owner seeing the pictures of the people there and realizing, this is a serious issue. This many people showed up and they want to pass these laws. No, I'm not. Because I've got friends that I'm not going to call them FUDs, okay, but they are firearms owners and they are hunters. And when you start talking about the proposals for the laws that your own state legislature is going to want to propose, then suddenly they perk up and they're like, wait a minute, they want to get rid of this? Why? Yeah, well, that 17-round magazine that you have for your G17 that you take to the range once in a while, yeah, well, they want to take that mag away from you. What? Suddenly that awake happens with people, and this might happen with other people too. That'd be one of the positive effects of the rally is people might start taking an interest in it. Wait, they're at the rally. What were they proposing? What would cause so many thousands of people to show up at the Capitol grounds? The awareness that this rally is going to create, I think, is a very positive thing. I think it's a great thing. So, I don't know.
There are people that maybe don't get involved that might know a little bit more now because of that. I had one of my friends get a hold of me this weekend and say, are you going to Virginia? He doesn't go to rallies. He's not anti-gun, but he doesn't go to rallies. And another friend contact me. They're not YouTube friends. They're real life friends, I guess, whatever you would call them. They're not virtual friends. They're people that I know but they're not on YouTube or on gun channels or any of that stuff, but they're pro Second Amendment. He got a hold of me today. Are you in Virginia? No. My mother yesterday, are you in Virginia? My mom, she's not anti-gun, but she's not pro-gun. She doesn't vote pro-gun, but that's only because she believes the stuff they see on TV. But she's not against people owning guns. She just doesn't care, right? But she's even like, when I came into work this morning, this afternoon, I went to my boss just to go, get a heads up, find out what he wants me to do tonight. And he goes, I thought you were going to text me this morning and say you were in Richmond. I'm like, dang, four people thought I was going to be there that I didn't say anything to, that don't normally pay attention to anything that happens outside of the state of Michigan. Yeah. So what does that say about, they know I'm the rally guy. They know I'm the guy that goes to rallies. So it gets people to notice. Maybe my mother watched the story on the news that she wouldn't normally watch because she thought, oh my goodness, he's going to be there. Maybe my friends who don't really pay attention to anything that happens outside of the state noticed because they were like, I wonder if he's going to be there. And my boss, who I don't know how he votes, and I really don't care. I keep that out of work. But he doesn't have a problem with me going to these rallies. He didn't sound disappointed that I showed up to work or angry. If I might have been able to text him and go, I won't be in this afternoon because I'm in Virginia. I might have got away with that. So it does kind of, I know it could go the other way too. Everybody could label you as a gun nut too, but you could just be that guy.
Yeah. Billy the cab driver's commenting, Travis, I believe they'll pass these laws and the people in a majority of law enforcement won't comply or enforce these unconstitutional laws. Yeah, let's hope not, man. Let's hope not. Ghost Shadow says the governor's at the term limit. He can't run again, so he doesn't care if he gets your vote again. How many of the others are the same? Yeah, that's true. That's another problem. They got Now they got a one-way trip. They got nothing left to lose, so why not just pass whatever they want to pass on the way out, right?
Well, I mean, they're completely controlled by Democrats right now, like the House, Senate, and the governor. So they're going to do a whole bunch of things, whatever they can think of that they can get away with or whatever for now. And the people are going to hate it, and they're not going to enforce it, and the people aren't going to follow it. And then as soon as there's another election, hint, hint, there's going to be a huge turnaround of the people who are in power. Like a lot of the people who are in power right now, the Democrats who hold office right now, aren't going to be there in a little while. And the first priority of the people who come in, the Republicans who were going to replace them, presumably, is going to be to take out those laws that are unconstitutional.
Yeah, but that's easier said than done. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it can be. Stuff can be repealed, but it's not always that easy. Another thing is, while they're in power, what if they voted to augment the Constitution so that they didn't have term limits? Uh-oh. Mm-hmm. So you gotta stay on top of this. The people that say their vote don't count are about as lame as the people who say I can't move.
And there's a long history of politicians getting elected and changing the rules on politics. That's why we have unterm limited people now. That's why the popular vote by the people is for the senators now, because politicians get in there and change a bunch of rules. And I can't really blame them. If I was a politician, the first thing I'd do is make sure that I could keep the job forever.
It's true, man.
Yeah. That evil 17th Amendment to what Kingpin was just talking about, voted on and ratified by the states, allowing senators to have popular vote thanks to the progressive movement back in the early 20th century.
Got a question here from Kinky Sphincter. Did Antifa show up or just a rumor? You know, they were what I had heard, and I don't know if this is true or not, but there was a Virginia like pro-Antifa sect that told them you need to go to the rally because our two-way rights are important too. And I'm not agreeing with Antifa whatsoever, but they were saying you need to go to the rally and you need to stand next to those that are also pro 2A because our Antifa interests require firearms, right? Our freedom depends on us keeping our Second Amendment too. So go and don't cause any issues. That doesn't mean that out of the area people couldn't come in or hired people couldn't come in to do something, but I don't know. I didn't see it. Have you guys seen any posters or any mention of Antifa showing up at all, or anybody claiming to be Antifa? Or
the only thing that I heard was there was a small group of protesters who, started a little bit of talking trash at the beginning, and then pretty much shut up and went away.
That's
what I heard. I didn't verify that. I just heard that on the radio on the way home today.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything about any protesters. But one thing that I did hear like a week ago was, then this happened in Seattle at the John Brown Gun Club, the leftist pro, I guess you can call them pro gun. I don't know if I would, but you could. They've joined forces with Antifa in Seattle. So entirely possible that there could have been Antifa presence, but they were on the pro gun side. So take that for what you will.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, we got Sandhills joining us. Now it's looking like the Brady Bunch here, man. Sandhill shooter in the house, another fellow Nebraskan. Sandhills, what's going on, man? How you doing?
What's up?
All right, man. So, hey, why don't you give us a little plug for your channel real quick, and then I want your take on the Virginia rally. What do you think, man?
Well, real quick, you can catch me over on YouTube or Facebook under the name Sandhill Shooter with the little picture that shows up in my little circle there. Every Tuesday night at 9 o'clock Central, we have a live podcast called the Get Off My Lawn podcast, and you should check that out because it's usually a lot of fun. As far as the rally goes, the first thing I want to say is how proud I am of our whole community.
Yeah.
Because nothing happened. And all of the traps that I was afraid of and all of the setups that it appeared to me were happening, they didn't happen. And I think from what I read last, I was able to catch some headlines anyway. I think one person got arrested, was the only thing I heard about, for wearing a mask, and she had been warned 2 other times by the same officer, and he finally on the third strike arrested her for it. Well, they took her in, and she was already out on PR from the way I understood it. But aside from that, no incidents, no violence. The country and the world got to see that law-abiding gun owners are exactly that. We're law-abiding. We're peaceful unless we're provoked and we don't have another option.
Yeah.
And I'm very proud to be part of the community that can put over 20,000 people in the same place and have nothing bad come out of it.
Yeah.
So that was amazing. I really liked that. As far as the rest of it, I don't think there's really a whole lot to report on. I haven't seen anything from the actual rally part as far as, any speeches or anything yet. And I don't know what's going to come from the 6,000 people inside the fence, that actually got to talk to lawmakers. But hopefully this opens some eyes and turns some heads, and maybe they will realize that, hey, there's a lot of people in and outside Virginia that aren't going to put up with taking away rights the Constitution says you can't mess with, especially when it's in both the federal Constitution and their state Constitution, like most of our states have. So that was pretty cool. That's my take on it so far. I haven't done a lot of reading on it yet because I haven't had time while I was at work. But yeah, I'm pretty proud to be part of the community that not only did they not have any incidents, but I posted a link to a Twitter video over on my Facebook page where people were cleaning up after themselves, picking up trash, throwing it in a garbage bag, and collecting all the mess so that the city didn't even have a big mess to clean up when it was all said and done. So again, kudos to everybody involved that made it the non-issue that it turned into being.
Yeah, we'll see what happens, and if the bills happen to get pushed through, we'll see where things go from there. I just we know that people won't comply. Very few will. I mean, it's not that often that people do comply unless it's at gunpoint, say in a communist country. So let's hope people don't comply if that's what actually happens. So I don't know. Yeah, man. I mean, it was the photos I've seen are awesome. Yeah.
So, I mean, the biggest thing is, in my opinion, that, I'm not saying that there's never a time for civil disobedience. There's a time and a place for it. I think that Richmond today was neither the time nor the place. But when it comes to it, if it needs to happen, it needs to happen. Just this wasn't the day for it. So I'm very, very glad that everybody else agreed with that today.
Yeah. A little bit of advice over here in the chat. Somebody was saying, Caliver said, I emailed sheriffs and county councils, not reps. There you go. That's just as important, too. The local level, because they're the ones that can also pass ordinances that make our lives a lot more difficult, right? Yeah, I mean, it's Billy the cab driver said, unfortunately, a lot of gun owners don't bother to vote. I mean, if this isn't a wake-up call for people that are gun owners that you need to get off your butt and get out and vote and just email and talk and just take the 5 minutes. I mean, look at how much time we waste in a day looking at Instagram, and it's not always wasting time, but I mean, look how much time we spend just living, right? Not doing things to promote our cause. I think we can take 5 minutes, maybe once a month and send an email or a letter, have a conversation, chat with your local council, get on your city council, right? Instead of sitting around complaining about it, get on your city council, get on your school board and push the pro 2A viewpoint, because you might have a lot of support that you don't realize. I mean, it would just be refreshing to have pro-Second Amendment representation on all levels and actually being visual or being out there and actually getting some exposure. We just don't seem to get that. I mean, we don't get it on the media, or if we do, it's a very small percentage. We don't get it in on social media unless we put it out there ourselves. So I don't know. I just think that I'm glad things turned out well and that there are no problems, and that we'll see where this takes things. I think it's definitely going to be a good thing. I don't know. All right, guys. Anything else you want to say about the rally at all before we go ahead and move on? Again, we can always come back to it if something comes out of it. We'll definitely revisit the topic. But what do you guys think? Anything else? Take it we're good? All right.
Oh, wait, hold on real quick.
Yeah. Go ahead, man. Yeah.
AWAG was talking about, thank goodness that nobody did anything stupid and tried to start off a revolution or a civil war. I think how he phrased that. I don't remember the exact words. Sorry, AWAG. I don't remember exactly how he did it. But, Glenn Beck had a quote a few years ago, back when he was on Fox News still, because you have people getting up in arms because of Obama, if you remember. And his quote was that, given the current political climate, if an uprising would start, it would not be the American Revolution Part 2. It would be the French Revolution Part 2. If you know your history, you get the significance of that.
Yeah.
We don't want a French Revolution. Trust me.
No, I don't think any would be good at all. Like we had mentioned before, just the potential for what can happen and the death and loss of life and the lack of resources and the misery that it would put everybody in. And not that it couldn't come to that if things get severe and things get pretty hardcore in terms of the laws and the enforcement of the laws. But, it's definitely, I think we're definitely off to a good start from what we saw today.
I think we gain more from not having any violence today from starting the violence today. There is a time, break glass in case of tyranny for the Second Amendment. But we were able to do, and this is from a guy whose business used to be war. Okay, so take it from me when I say that there's a time and a place for this. And I think there's some people that are new to the Second Amendment community, whether they be young or old, and they just finally said, maybe I need to get involved. And, most of their information comes from either the left-wing media or the big YouTube channels that are trying to start something instead of really trying to help. And I think there's information that gets parroted, it gets, copied and said again and again and again and again. And I think there are some people that are angry. They're frustrated, and rightly so. Rightly so. I mean, a lot of people on these channels have ranted. Okay, it's not just the people that are maybe a little angry that day or had one too many pops or something. Okay, so it's okay to be angry. It's okay to be frustrated. It's okay, and not to say that this will never happen. It's the potential for it that the government needs to be afraid of. It's just like nuclear war. The reason we haven't had a nuclear war is because both sides know what nobody wins. And in this sort of thing, you could say, oh, yeah, we're going to take over. We're going to get it our way. No, it's going to be a mess. America will turn into a second or third world country, and it will be a mess. And nobody wants that, but especially you guys that are not, who weren't born or were born after cell phones. You don't know what it's like, okay? At least those of us who remember carbon paper and party lines might be okay. But the rest of you aren't going to know what to do. But what I'm saying is, it always the threat always needs to remain for the people in power to know that this country is our country, not their country. Yes, they're citizens too, but they work for us. But if we act on it rashly, we will do more damage than we will do good. Today was a victory.
Definitely. Let's see. MO Patriot said at Travis P11, please read Sam Johnson's email. Okay, I'll check my email here and see if I got something. Where's that? I saw something here. Marco Dunn says Yemen sucks right now, as does Libya. You don't want to be there, trust me. I mean, just look around at what happens in countries when they fall apart. Sometimes they don't ever get back to where they were before. So we need to do what we can do to ensure that we are able to keep things the way that they are and improve from here, essentially. Ghost Shadow says it would have been great if they had violence in Virginia, like they had videos of it in Japan where the politicians started pounding on each other. I remember that. Didn't they jump over tables and start wailing on each other? Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, yeah.
Hey, Squid, you forgot to mention those of us that know why there was aluminum foil on the rabbit ears.
The what?
On your old TVs back in the day when you guys were were little ones. Yeah.
No. We had that dial on top of the TV where we had to turn the antenna. So that was so we could get the NBC station that was at the other end of the state. Yeah.
Hey, how about those?
Wow, fancy, man. I had to go out and climb the tower and turn the antenna myself when my dad told me to.
Remember the good old days? Remember you used to have to get off the couch and go turn the channel for your old man?
The wired remote control.
Oh, yeah, you were the remote.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Just because some of us are young doesn't mean we don't remember some of that. That's for that dial on top of the TV. Yeah, remember having that as a kid. You know, I'm only 29, but that's where I remember having that as a kid as well.
There you go,
I will say that I'm glad I was right. There wasn't going to be any violence, just like all the other rallies, and I'm glad I was wrong that so many people turned out.
Are we civilized or not? You know, I believe that the founding fathers and the founding mothers and all the people that came before us, G-Webs talks about it all the time in the gun community, the shoulders of the people that we're standing on right now, fought, bled, cried, worked overtime, did all this hard stuff so we didn't have to resort to killing each other every time we disagree. Now, does that mean that I don't think that we should have, like Sandhill said, that thought in the back of every politician's mind that if I push too far, these people can fight back? Yeah, we need to have that thought. But for all the people that, they're going to put a new traffic light at First and Main. Oh, it's Boogaloo time. Let's kill everybody.
Yeah.
We've got 243 years of history that says we shouldn't have to live that way now. We're not Yemen. We're not Africa. We're not China. We're America. We're the greatest nation the world has ever known and will ever know. And that's because we can sit down and reason with each other. And we have ways of getting rid of politicians without shooting them and dragging them out of the Capitol buildings.
Right on, man. This is true. This is true. So I don't know. I mean, like I said, are there any other rallies coming up that you guys know about in your area? Is there anything we can start promoting? What's the next one that's going to be going on? Anybody have any planned?
For Conservative has put it out there a few times in the chat. Apparently, there's a October 24th rally scheduled for DC again.
Okay.
October's a long way away. I mean, it's plenty of time to schedule.
It's plenty of time to plan and plenty of time to get your ticket early and get your hotel room booked and get some good deals and not have to complain at the last second. I couldn't afford a ticket, Sandhills, do we have anything coming up in Nebraska at all? We got any rallies planned in Nebraska for the spring? Have you heard anything yet at all?
Maybe if I can find the mute button.
Okay. Yeah.
Not that I know of, although I think once it gets a little bit warmer, we should maybe think about just planning one for later in the year.
Yeah. Along with the Bills, they want to push through.
There's a great place just a half a block from my house in a city park. It's got a raised up stage area and everything. It'd be a great place for a rally, but it's less than 1,000 feet from a school, so we would absolutely have to be zero firearms there. But
let's just have the rally at your house.
Yeah, but there's not that much room in my yard.
Let's have room at my place. I got room. I'm moving. I don't care. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Block party.
I have a fenced in backyard. I got plenty of room for everybody's puppies to come over.
There you go.
I live in Lexington, right? Right? I mean, all of our cities are named after parts of the Constitution and famous presidents. I mean, how much more patriotic can you get, right? There you go. Oh, man. So I don't know. Anybody else know of any rallies at all this spring? Anything we need to start promoting? Anyone? No? All right. I think what we're going to do is we'll go ahead and hold off on the AR accessories and parts discussion until next week so we can devote an entire episode to that. Maybe talk a little bit about some of the guns that are being featured at SHOT Show. There's a lot of Glock 19 clones that have just shown up over on that Gun Holsters and Gear blog that we've been talking about on the channels here. It's really interesting. Like 3 of them have popped up in the last couple of days. PSA showed one off. Patriot Ordnance is showing one off. There's a few other companies that are coming up. So some kind of seeing some interesting kind of customized pistols that'll be coming out there. But so we'll go ahead and save on the AR discussion until next week so we can devote as much time as possible talking about accessorizing. Is it necessary? Is it not necessary? Our favorite parts and accessories and so on for the AR platform. So real quick, let's go ahead and let everybody go ahead and plug their channels one last time before we go ahead and call it. And Squib, again, I'm waiting for you to issue that VR Pop-Tart challenge. So Squib, we'll start off with you. Anything you want to say before we go?
Yeah, this is a good show. I'm glad we had it. I've heard some people say some stuff about some channels don't ever get into politics, and I already did a video on that explaining my position on that. Yeah. And I still stand by that position. And I know that, this show doesn't go down the rabbit hole too much too often, but we did today. And if some of you are out there listening, some of us on the panel don't agree with each other on every single thing, but here we are. We're all together. We're working together. We let our differences go, and we work together. And it's really not that hard for everybody in the community to do that without having to all unify under one person's idea and have one person be the leader and all that. There are ways to make it work, and there's ways to make your voice heard. You can be part of it in any way you want. It's just how much you're willing to devote to it, and everybody's got their own. This is what I do. This is how I do it. This is what I'm comfortable with, whatever it is. But I'm glad we had this conversation today. I'm glad we had this show. Thanks a lot, Travis.
No problem, man. Like I said, I wanted to, whether it would have been good or bad, I just wanted to have a discussion about it. If it would have been bad, we could have tried to figure out what happened and why and how we could prevent that from happening next time. Again, I haven't mentioned much about the Virginia rally, but again, I support those people that went to it. I watched a lot of those channels that were going to be there. Thumbs up a lot of videos. And so just shout out to all the Virginians. You guys did a great job. And we'll see where things go. We'll see what happens. So, all right. Sandhills, any final plugs before we call it, man?
Yeah, I actually kind of build a little bit about what Squib just said. I think that starting tomorrow night, we might have a little bit of a change up on the Get Off My Lawn podcast, because I kind of have a vision of that going to where the people on the panel don't always necessarily agree with each other or with me. And that's what I want. I want people, because sometimes we go political, sometimes we don't, but there's usually some sort of topic, that people can be on different sides of a discussion. I want to have the actual discussion. I don't want to just say what I think and then go around the horn and everybody just nods their head in agreement. So I think that there's a time and a place. Not everybody wants it on their podcast, but I do on mine. I want people to, if you disagree with me, then say so. Tell me where you're coming from. Let's hash it out, but let's do it. Again, we'll be polite to each other.
Yeah.
And civil with each other, but let's disagree in a public forum, and people can make their own decisions based on what each one of us have said. We might not change each other's minds, but we might plant that seed for somebody else. So, like Squib said, not everybody does that, and not everybody wants to, and that's awesome. I am one that wants to, so hopefully starting tomorrow and moving forward, you'll be able to see that on the Get Off My Lawn podcast. So I just kind of wanted to throw that plug out. Other than that, I know I wasn't here long, but thanks for the invite, and I hope to see you guys all tomorrow.
So is this going to be that you're going to throw some topics out there that you think is going to stir up the honeypot kind of thing? Is that what you're going to do? I'm just kind of curious, because we agree so much on so many things, because we're so like-minded when it comes to things like carry and our 2A rights and our responsibilities, and and I've always wanted that, no matter what the topic was. Yeah. The hard part is finding people in our community who disagree. Yeah, I mean, most of us are pretty much a united front. I'm really hoping, like with not this week, but next week's guests, we can get a little more exposure. The more exposure we get, the more chances we'll find somebody that actually disagrees with us, that's willing to come talk. And if we need to, we'll have a small or no panel on those nights to where nobody feels like they're going to get ganged up on. But I really want it to be a thought provoker every week. I want a discussion every week if we can get it. That doesn't mean I want somebody just to play the role of devil's advocate every time. I want people that actually honestly believe what they're saying and say what they believe. That's what I'm looking for. We could do like Ford versus Chevy versus Dodge, and Calaveras and I can moderate because we're Jeep guys. We just stay out of that little ring. Seriously, we could yell at each other for hours over what pickup truck is best, if that's what you want.
Yeah, but you got a bias because Dodge and Jeep are Chrysler products. So I'm sorry.
I was going to say Jeep was Jeep City area Chrysler. No, that doesn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, unless we're...
My vehicle was based off an AMC design, so I don't, just because it's got the Pentastar stamped on the parts doesn't mean that I pledge allegiance to the Daimler Chrysler era that built my vehicle. So my vehicle has...
just because the Pentastar is still on the top of the Crystal Cathedral over there in Auburn Hills doesn't mean that foreign power isn't in charge of it anyhow. They're all driving around Fiats.
Yeah,
and Travis was wanting a Honda pickup not too long ago, so I don't know if we can really trust what he was saying. It was a Hyundai pickup.
That, I'm going to tell you something right now. Look at the Santa Cruz pickup. If you slapped a Chevy emblem on the front of there and you called it the next El Camino, people would wet the bed and go buy those damn things like hotcakes. Look at it. Imagine a Chevy. Put that Chevy bow tie on the front of there and call it the El Camino, and don't tell me you don't think that they would sell like crazy. It just reminds me of what they did with the Camaro and what all these retro vehicles are. People would buy it. I guarantee you would buy them.
The only Elco that was worth the darn was the 454, the Muncie 4-speed, and because it was as much muscle car as it was, a vehicle version of the mullet.
I disagree. See, Sandhills is the perfect topic for tomorrow night.
Yeah, but now, so you want You want an Honda pickup truck? I think you got to pay some royalties to somebody.
No, we all know what Travis is really going to get. He's going to get that Cybertruck from what's it called?
Oh, Tesla? No, do you really want to know what I'm negotiating on? I'm going to be honest with you. This is a spoiler. I am currently looking at trading the Honda and the Jeep on a low mileage 03 GMC Denali with a 6-liter V8 and all-wheel drive. There you go. There you go. Grill me alive, guys. It's a beautiful truck. So I'm going to get 15 miles to the gallon. And I'm going to love it. If it works, I don't know. We'll see what happens. If I can pull it off, so it might be the official vehicle of the Travi Collective. Plenty of room for you guys to join in. So, all right. Where was I? Okay, so AWAG. Any final plugs before we go? I think I terrified him with the discussion of that big block V8. I don't know. AWAG, you got to unmute yourself, bud. You with us? There we go. Maybe. Hopefully. There you go.
AWAG would probably be going for a dang Yugo.
Nah. He's all about the Toyota. He's the super guy here.
You got to use the word tuner to get him to say something.
Hey, JDM boy, get on here. Start calling you JWAG. Yeah. All right. So AWAG, you with us? You with us still?
Technical difficulties.
I guess. All right, we'll come back to you, AWAG. Calaveras, give us final plug before we go.
I appreciate the invite. I know I've been, over in the text chat quite a bit because, I was kind of, I thought I was talking a little too much at the beginning of the show, so I wanted to give everyone some time. But, just thanks for the invite. Everyone can check out my stuff. Leave comments. Let me know if it's good, bad, or otherwise. Other than that, I don't have a live show, but I try to jump in here as well as get off my lawn when I can. And Spring Hill Shooters, chat is a good chat. So, come join us.
All right. Just to defend myself, what's going on over there? Somebody's already over. Denali is the hipster blazer. No, poor conservative. This is the GMC version of the Chevy Silverado. This one's got all-wheel drive, extended cab, full bed, and the big V8 in it. So, no, this isn't the blazer version at all. This is the regular pickup version of it. They just took a Silverado, made it a little more plush because I want some more comfortable seats. All right. Budget Guns and Gear. Anything you want to say before we go?
Just want to say thanks for having me. Once again, this is I'm Budget Guns and Gear Reviews. You can find me here on YouTube at Budget Guns and Gear Reviews. I do a show called The Right of the People every Friday night, 11:30 p.m. Eastern, where we use the first to defend the second. We absolutely talk about Second Amendment-related politics and current events on that show. It's all politics and current events, as a matter of fact, until the very end, where we elect someone the moron of the week because they've done something stupid that's Second Amendment related, and then we close it off with self-defense shout-outs because despite what NPR, CNN, MSNBC, and all the rest would have you believe, the good guy with a gun does indeed stop the bad guy with the gun every single day.
This is true. This is true. Right on, man. Appreciate you being here. I'll make sure to get you in the contacts from here on out to join in. I always thought that I was sending you on the list because I just hit send and there's 25 names on the list. We'll get you on that next time. I want you on future episodes. So, all right, man. Shoot me an email at thecalibercorner@gmail.com and I'll put you on the list so I can get out to you next time. Okay, next week.
I'll do the same.
You got time? Cool. All right, Kingpin. Any final plugs before we go, brother?
I'll actually do a little bit this time. First, I want to thank you for having a great show and for doing so many Caliber Corners that so many people enjoy. Everybody that was on the panel, Honda, and everybody that had to leave early. Great conversation. I love a good conversation. And there's somebody out in the chat that I want to shout out. It's JH586. That's Jamie from the Reloaders Network.
Okay.
Go check out his channel. Click on his icon, sub his channel. Every Friday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, they have the Georgia Shooting Connection. And you're going to be hard to find a better group of people. I mean, they talk reloading and they break it down so, a dummy like me can understand it. They don't mind answering questions. Real great group of people over there, so definitely go check them out.
Right on, man. Good plug. You guys get on over there. Make sure that you like and subscribe. All right. And up next, Rich White. Any final plugs before we go, man?
Yeah, just check out the show Sunday nights over on the Media Channel. And if Sandhills wants somebody that'll disagree with them, I'll be your Huckleberry. Just tell me what you want me to disagree with.
Ooh, there we go. Shots fired. Shots fired.
Hey, people on this panel have been on my show. They've watched my show. They've seen me tell off Ghost Tactical when he was playing devil's advocate.
We need some hot button issues. Should you have steak sauce with a good steak? Yes or no? We'll save that one for later. We'll save that one for later. Yeah, and if you do, it's an A1 or Heinz 57. I mean, which one do you do? You know, is it Ruger 57 or is it A1? What?
You remember back when Oklahoma governor, on her way out the door, vetoed their constitutional carry?
Mm-hmm.
Ghost decided he was going to play devil's advocate, side with her, and I went off on him. Oh, no.
Well, you got to keep it G-rated, though. I mean, that's the important thing. You got to keep it family friendly. That's all we ask. So, yeah.
Hello.
Hey, Wag.
Hello.
Final plugs, man. Anything you want to say before we go? We're wrapping it up, man.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear, man.
Awesome. Great.
Yeah.
I've been trying to get out GMC gang because I have a GMC Sierra.
Ooh.
And great trucks. Other than that, check out my channel, AWAG1000. There should be more content coming in, not next week, the week after. I'm doing a nice little project with a new rifle that I got. I've been toting it on, Matt's Discord channel. I ended up buying a 300 Winchester Magnum, and I'm going to be doing some very spectacular research and development with that rifle. So stay tuned. I also have Instagram. I also have my own Discord server. I don't know how to post links. I don't know if I'm allowed to post links in the YouTube chat.
I think if it's in the chat, I can't control it. So that's not, the only thing I can do is block stuff that's profane or obscene, and that's it. So I think whatever you do is on you, man. That's, yeah. As a moderator, you're moderated on this, aren't you?
Yes.
On YouTube side, I thought. Okay.
I tossed out a link out there for my Discord server. So if you want to join, go for it. It's mostly firearms related, and cool. It's still pretty small. So, I don't have the power to do everything, but,
All right, check it out. Sounds good. Right on,
Thanks
man.
For having me on.
Yeah, no problem. I think everybody had a chance to get their plugs in here. Did I skip anybody? Did I miss anybody? We're good. Squib, did I get you? Squib?
Yeah.
All right, cool. I couldn't remember, so I'm getting old. All right, so joining us this evening, we've had Guy That Comments. We've had Dwayne Voltaggio, Zeno out there in the house. What's going on here? Zeno says, hey, y'all, just a heads up, fake news is at it again. There was a man photographed throwing spent casings on the ground and taking pictures of it. They're probably going to try and push some stupid narrative. Yeah, I know there was a suppressor going off and nobody saw it or heard it, right? Calver's 32 Special out there over here. AWAG 1000 also joining us tonight. Marco Dunn's out there. Poor Conservative in the house. JH 586 is out there. Lots of people joining us this evening. Duke Liberty's in the house. Georgia Trucker 69. SS Pawns in the house. Let's see here. Mystic Guns joining us. Guy That Comments. I saw a little Midnight Range TM going on out there. What's going on, Midnight? Kingpin out there and over here. I don't know. Savage somebody. Savage Jesus J. All right. In the house. Ghost Shadow watching tonight. E-Code out there too. Budget Guns and Gears out there and over here. Good Tennessee Gun Guy watching this evening. Missouri Patriot joining in. Mo Patriot, right? Sketchy Rolls out there watching. Little tacos and french fries going on as usual. Rupan's out there too. So thanks for watching, Rupan. And hopefully I didn't miss anybody. Guy That Comments was watching. Mad Sexy's out there too. Ghost Shadow. Lockjaw was watching this evening. And if I missed anybody, I want to apologize. So thank you for watching, everybody. We had a little discussion this evening on the Virginia rally. I'm going to change the title of this podcast to take the AR stuff out of the title because we'll have a discussion on that next week. I've got a box of parts here to show off, and we'll talk about our favorite accessories to make that AR-15 into something greater if you want it to be, or just simply enjoy it as is right out of the box in its stock standard form, which is perfectly acceptable. Make sure you guys check out the Guns and Geeks podcast over there on the Never Enough Ammo channel, where we're talking a little geek discussion this evening, talking about some stuff that's going on in the news. And otherwise, I think that's about it. So again, SS Pond, thanks for sponsoring this episode of Caliber Corner. Make sure you guys check them out. They're a longtime sponsor of the channel. Contact information's in the description box on this video. Otherwise, guys, I think that's it. I want you to have fun. I want you guys to be. Whoa, go ahead, Kingpin. Yo.
I forgot. I was requested. Apparently, there's been 2 requests in the chat made for me. The next 2A rally will be at my house. It's official, apparently. And let me smash. The guy that comments wants me to say, "Let me smash."
Let me smash, man. Let me smash that bell. Don't miss an update, right? So the rally for Maryland is going to be held in Kingpin's backyard. We'll be getting that address out to you guys soon, so make sure that you're ready to go. And I'll be tabletop reviewing Kingpin's backyard. So what's that?
That's a school, right, though, in the backyard, so it's going to have to be an unarmed rally.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, we'll just move the Maryland rally to Nebraska. We got plenty of space for everybody, and the parking's a lot cheaper, and people are a lot friendlier. So there you go, man. You're ready to rock and roll.
I'll see if I can't just get that school moved.
Yeah, there you go. All right.
It would be the considerate thing to do, yeah.
Backyard might be big enough.
Yeah. All right, guys. I want you all to take care, have fun, be safe, and as you know, we will talk to you all soon. All right. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. Y'all take care.
Bye, Alicia.
Bye-bye.
Peace.